Hi guys. Thank you so much for coming back and listening to Blind Ambitions podcast with us. I'm your host Diana King, and today I have such a sweet guest with us today. She is a meteorologist. She's a mother, she's a wife, she owns her own health coaching business, and she's a huge staple in the Bakersfield community, and I am so excited to be here with you, Alissa Carlson-Schwartz. How are you doing?
I'm great. Thanks for having me and congratulations on the podcast.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I've been wanting to have you on just because we always have the best conversations and they're so relatable. And I just want to have you on and just chat. And you're so inspiring too. I wanted everyone to know that because you have so much going on in your life all the time, and I think that it's just you do it all, and it's inspiring. It's like, how can I be that kind of a mom and wife, and
Well,
all the things? Yeah,
thank you so much. I tried. I
you
try
try.
to inspire and I'm not perfect. There's days where you need a break. But
Yeah,
I've kind of learned and taught myself along the way.
yeah. You have to, right? As women, we just kind of have to teach
Mhm.
ourselves and learn as we go.
Exactly.
Especially being a mom, for sure. Um, So let's get into just kind of how we met and how this ball got rolling a few years back. I mean, we met at, well, through social media, really. We just kind of were like back and forth on social media, like supporting each other. And you reached out and you were like, hey, I have like a proposition for you. Let's go to lunch. And I'm like, ooh, what is this? What's going on? Sure.
We went to lunch and I had followed you for a while and just thought that you had done some really great things on social media. And at that time, I was just becoming a stay at home mom. And so it was fun to connect and just relate to another mom and see how were doing so a little bit of influencing at that time and that sort of thing. And I had also started my coaching business. So I thought, you're obviously a fit person and you're into that. And then I have the pageants going. So, and out of our conversation, Diana joins a pageant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you've done a lot of things since that time as well.
Yeah, we did the Mrs. California pageant because you were the MC and you did great. This was what year? When was this? Like 2 years ago?
I think
Two and
so.
a half?
Yeah,
One and a half.
21,
Ooh,
I think.
yeah. Oh, yeah, you're right.
Maybe.
I don't even know. No, you
I
know
don't
what? It
know.
was
The years
2022.
go fast. It might have
Yeah,
been 42, but
yeah. It goes by fast, but yes, that was a really fun experience to have with you because we spent 4 days together and we just practiced all day long. We had all of our meals together. It was a very cool bonding experience. And you're like a huge into pageantry. I didn't even know that when I met you. Like, I mean, I knew you did the pageants because I knew you were Mrs. California, but I didn't realize how amazing you were. Like, I was like, "Oh my god, this girl, like, wow." So tell us a
oh,
little bit about, like, your journey with pageantry.
you know what? I wasn't one of those people that started out when I was younger doing pageants. I grew up in the Midwest, and maybe it was where I was from. They didn't have as many. But I decided at a later age, after I was married and had a child, that I wanted to do a pageant. And that's when most people are like retired by that point. But
Yeah.
for me, I needed something, an outlet for myself. Not that we don't, but we have to take care of ourselves as moms. And I knew that doing a pageant would get me into shape. That's why a lot of women choose to do it. It also keeps you focused on your goals, and you do a lot of the internal work. So pageantry isn't just about the external; it's about the internal, and we have to really know who we are as a person. And so that I was really hooked to that. I love the transformation process, and I have been through this. I've been in several pageants now, and I've won a few. I've not won a few, and that's fine. But every time I feel like, and I shouldn't say I've not won a few, I haven't won a crown. But did I win as a person? Yes, because the growth process is strong. And every time I compete, I learn something from that experience. So that is why I encourage other people to do these things. You really have to kind of step out of your comfort zone, and it's a great way to do that.
Yes, I totally agree. I'm so glad that you said that because it is way more than just getting up on stage and going for a crown. There's a learning process there. There's a journey. Like I said, we spent 4 days together and it's so much more than okay, go put your dress on and let's go walk across. No, there was so much that we did. We learned so much about community, about giving back and getting involved with nonprofit organizations, donating our time, things like that that I really wanted. And when it was I took it as a sign when we went to lunch. I was like, maybe I should do this because it would be a really good experience for myself and to learn more about myself and maybe um I didn't really give back so much until I did the pageant. And now, doing the Bakersfield pageant, that's very well rounded about community and Gail Tape is all about, making it about our community and giving our time and our service. And so I don't know, I love that, and it makes you feel so much better, it makes you feel good. There's a peace inside your heart a little bit
It
when you
does.
do
And
those things.
thanks for mentioning the community service because I didn't mention that as much. But yes, the heart of that is community service and what you give back and pay it forward and do for other people. And so when you wear a title, you are able to champion a cause. And so mine has been heart disease awareness, and that has impacted my life. And so by wearing a crown or having a title, you share your stories and you hope to impact another life. So it is so much
Absolutely.
more than what a lot of people realize.
Yeah, and and I'm glad that we're talking about this first thing because I want everyone to realize that it is, it looks a certain way from the outside, but on the inside when you're really in it and you're in the thick of it, you are learning so much more just not about, you know, beauty. It's so much more. You learn more about people and more about, just other things in life. I don't know. I could go on about it for days. I just love it. I love it. I love the
Maybe you'll do
community.
it again, Diana. There's
Oh, no. No, I'm good. Y'all are so busy when you do that. Like so busy. That's what I'm saying. You do it all. And you just did a pageant too.
this
Where was
past
that at?
weekend. Yes, I'm still kind of in the whole pageant hangover stage.
Yeah.
I don't know if you know what that is, but yes, it kind of feels like you've been hit by a truck afterward.
Yeah, you're exhausted, mentally exhausted.
Mentally exhausted, don't want to put any makeup on. You just, I'm in pajama pants right now, if I'm being honest. So,
I love that about you. I think okay, so I wanted to point this out too is that you've been on TV. You've been in everyone's living rooms for so long, doing the weather and you're so beautiful like inside and out and so naturally people are going to gravitate towards you. And I love that you are so down to earth and you're just like, yeah, I'm in my sweat. Like, so what, And I love that because we usually see people, professionally on TV like that, and we're like, "Oh, she would never do that," or,
Mhm.
"She would never say that." But you are so down to earth, and you're just such a girl's girl, and I want everyone to know that. Like, you have the
Thank you.
sweetest
Thanks so
heart.
much.
You really do have such a good heart. You really do.
Yeah. There are
Yeah.
times, social media can be the highlight reel, and that is where everything's going. It's streaming and social and that sort of thing, and even television news. But now it is becoming a little bit more relaxed, and I think now people are more open to showing their authentic selves, which is great because if you think of future generations, we don't want them to think, oh, I'm not as pretty as her, as good as her. I don't do everything perfect like her. It's not real. It's just not real life. And it's funny. My mom even said something the other day, and she's like, "Well, I just saw this woman on Instagram, and she has 9 kids, and she manages to get a charcuterie board ready for them when they get home." And I said, "Are you kidding me, Mom? You do know that's not real?" And I know, I'm just like, "Are you mom shaming me because I don't have a charcuterie board for my kids?" No. But
Yeah, I mean, maybe once in a great while, I'll do like I've never done a charcuterie board for my kids after school, I'll tell you that. But if I have a,
kids, Diana, we need to get it together.
I'm like, I made like some pot stickers. You guys want those? Like,
No, no. So
yes, it's
I'm
so
all
true.
about keeping it real. And sometimes, I I don't even put it all out there because my husband and I we're pretty wild, like as far as how we talk to each other, and so we've had to put it in check a little bit because we do have this relationship where we will kind of pick at each other, but it's all in fun and we know that. But other people are kind of like, is that what?
Yeah. No, that's the great thing is, it shows that you're just real and you're normal and everyone does that. Everyone has their own little banter with their husband and it's all in good fun. I love that. Yeah, you guys are funny. You guys are pretty funny. I love it. I love being around you guys. It's always a good time. Yeah, and what was I going to say about that? Dang, I lost my train of thought. Ah, oh well. But yeah, you definitely keep it real and you're very vulnerable. That's what I was going to say. You're very vulnerable because you do share um your progress pictures from your business, and that, I mean, it's very hard to do things like that. Not a lot of people would have the balls, if you will, to get up on Instagram and show your body like that. So I commend you and your progress, and you're doing amazing, and you are inspiring so many people out there. So thank you for doing that.
Well, and for those who don't know or maybe want to follow me, it's at Schwartz.Alissa on Instagram. And I post my pictures on Facebook too if you're on there. But basically, I have lost weight and I have posted some pictures of me, one, a big stomach, things like that. Not the most flattering pictures that people would, they're cringe, let's be honest. But and it took a lot of guts for me to do that. But then I thought, you know what? People are going to talk, and I've kind of I'm in this time of my life now where I don't really care. I'm like,
Yeah.
people are going to talk if you're too good. They'll talk if you're not good. They're going to talk, so let them talk.
Yeah.
And once you kind of get to that point in your own life and yourself, it's very powerful.
Yeah.
It's that self realization. And I encourage everybody to do that deep dive. And you just really have to get over your fears and not care what people think.
Exactly. Yeah, it creates so much anxiety and fear, and you have to just get over it, and you're right. People are going to talk whether it's bad or good. So you might as well just do what you love and go for what you want, and that's it. Live the
Yeah.
life that you want to live, and share the pictures and be proud of yourself and be like, I did that. That is because of my hard work. And that's
Exactly.
all that
Those that
matters.
care for you are going to support you no matter what. And those who aren't for you, they'll leave anyway. So those aren't
Yeah.
your people. And I've really learned to find my people. And in my Instagram stories, I know who my people are because they're watching every day. And you pick up those people that become friends. Just like I met you on social media, I've met so many people that I've become friends with, not just here locally, but around the country.
Yeah.
Hopefully the
Absolutely.
difference that I've done. So I encourage everybody to really try to do something to level up, put themselves out there, which is one of the reasons I did this pageant this past weekend. It had been 3 years since I've been on a stage. It was a little bit of something I was kind of like, I want to challenge myself. I've been pretty complacent and I want to level up a little bit in some different areas in my life. And so I did it. And I guess am I in my fittest shape? I'm fitter than I was at certain parts of my life, but there's times where I was much smaller, and that's fine. But I feel good about what I did and how I presented myself. So
Absolutely. It's like riding a bike, and just the rush and the adrenaline and that feeling. It's like, oh, it's so amazing. I know exactly what you're saying. It's
yeah,
like, it's so
it is
exciting.
so fun. So fun. And I just said,
Yeah.
okay, I'm back. I did it. And, last year I had a horrible health scare. It's almost been a year to the day since that. And what happened was I was doing the weather on television news, at KCAL News in Los Angeles. And before my hit, which is when you're on television, I started not quite feeling well. And then the camera turned on and I collapsed on television. Well, unfortunately, that went viral, and then the networks picked it up, and it was all over the place. And that not necessarily, that was awful and mortifying at the same time, but was more scary was my health. And I
Right.
had, there was blood on the floor. I was vomiting, having, intestinal issues. It was a hot mess behind the scenes until that ambulance got there. And then I had a concussion where I had post concussion syndrome for 6 weeks. So I
Mm.
was not healing. My brain was not healing. So there were times, Diana, where I honestly, my short term memory, I would look at somebody and not remember their name.
Really? I did
That's
not know this.
Yes. So, because of post concussion syndrome, I
Oh
was
my
not
God.
recovering from the concussion, and that was, infecting my memory, and just
That's
even being
scary.
afraid to do any sort of exercise again. I mean, just basically resting. I was told you need to rest.
Yeah.
And that slowed me down so much to the point where I really had to look at my life and,
Yeah.
and say, okay, am I taking care of me? As a health coach, I am pouring into my clients. I am making sure they're succeeding. They are getting off medications, getting healthy, losing weight. They're doing all the things, but yet my own body was starting to fall apart.
And that's what happens, and we do that too with our kids. We get so involved taking care of everybody else that we're not taking care of ourselves. And that is a prime example of what can happen. And it's very scary. I thought you were okay aside from the side effects that you were having. I didn't know that your short-term memory was affected. I mean, I remember coming over with the when we brought you the flowers and you had the staples in your head and I was just like, "Oh my god."
Yeah. 9 staples in
Just
my head.
seeing it was
Awful. Yeah.
yeah, and then it was like viral and it just kept popping up in the memes and stuff and I was just like, "That's my friend. Y'all like stop. That's not funny."
Yeah. I mean, people, I don't know what it is about things when those sort of incidents. Well, part of it too was that people thought I had a heart attack. And
Oh, cuz your heart
I'm a
yeah.
heart survivor. So it was, oh,
Yeah.
she had a heart attack. And, it was shocking to viewers too. And I can imagine if I were at home and I was at home watching this and that happened, I would, my heart would skip a beat too, literally. Like, oh my gosh, what did I just watch? So viewers were they were traumatized. They were
Yeah.
messaging saying what just happened. So I understand, the viewer was upset and concerned. And, um, I guess the good thing out of all that going viral was that we did a story on CBS News this morning about vasovagal syncope, which is a condition that I have, and that is where you can easily faint. Now, I've had this condition my whole life. I've had incidents of fainting in the past, and I now know a little bit more about the condition and recognize how I should maybe navigate a little bit better. And but it also brought up the disease, heart disease awareness, which is the cause that I champion for, and how we need to make sure that we get a heart healthy checkup. And as moms, we go, go, go. And every mom that's come up to me after this has said, because of you, I'm having my self care. I
Yeah.
am making sure I have that hour a day to me. And I put that rock in my schedule too. Like, what am I going to do? For me, it's now a workout. So,
Yeah. Yeah, it's so true. I'm so glad that you said that. All of that is very important. We need to take care of ourselves. I am included in that, and I hate going to the doctor. I hate getting checked. It's just, I don't want to. It's like I don't have time. I have all
right?
these other things going on. Like I'll do it another day. And so, yeah, we need to get checked, ladies. Like we also need to get mammograms, like start early if you can. If you're in your mid 30s, go for it. Go get checked, do checks on yourself.
Mhm.
I'm really bad about that. So, in your honor, I'm gonna go and
Yes,
get my heart
we
checked.
do like a month. So, and my husband does this too. October is our month for all everything. Dentist.
Yeah.
I mean, we do all of them in October. Our blood panel, the gynecologist, all of those things, and obviously not my husband, but he goes to his doctor. So we do that, and we know that by the end of the year, we kind of get that out of the way, and you just
Oh,
kind of
that's
put
a
that.
really good idea. Maybe
Yeah,
every month, like once a year, pick a month and go do all the things. That's a great
yeah,
idea. So glad that you mentioned that.
it is because
That's a
otherwise
great idea.
and as we say, we don't value our health until it becomes an illness. And
Right.
we
We
really
wait for
don't.
something to happen.
And there's so many people that come to me as potential clients that are saying, I have pre-diabetes and I have high blood pressure and this or that, and they don't care until that happens, and then we have to try to fix it.
Yes. Then it's an uphill battle. Then
Yes.
having
So,
to,
like, no, try to do that early so you don't have to, you just start to naturally leave a healthy lifestyle. So,
yeah, so true. So true. And the gym or exercise, whatever you do, that has to be a priority as well. Get some sort of exercise every day. And yeah, if
mhm.
any of you out there interested in health coaching or getting your health on track, um, contact Alyssa. She is the girl for that, and she will guide you in the right direction and get you going on your goals. Especially it's still the beginning of the year. We're still in Q1. Q1. So
That's
we
right. Oh
we
gosh,
got time.
plenty of time. And if you're not working towards your break goal after spring break, a lot of people will come because they'll have too much fun on their spring break vacation, and they're saying, "Okay, I've got to dial it in before summer." So this is my busy season for my job, and I would love to have you as a client. And I hold my clients accountable, and that's why they succeed.
Yes. 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 You're an amazing coach. She's very inspiring. She's in your corner. So everybody get on with Alyssa and get going on that. And I want to talk a little bit now about how did you get into meteorology? Because that is so cool to me as a female, going into that meteorology, into that realm, if you will, and talk a little bit about that because I think that's a really cool story.
Sure. I grew up on a farm in Illinois, and my dad was a farmer. My mom was a newspaper correspondent. So she always had that news itch. And I, of course, grew up with that. So really, our parents influenced us, at least they did me, on what my life choice was going to be for a career. And I knew that I wanted to do something in television, not newspaper, to try to just do something a little bit different. I preferred being on camera and in that setting. So, with that being said, I went into television broadcasting, and then the weather bug had always been in me. And I went back to school and got my certificate of broadcast meteorology through Mississippi State while I was working full time. And then I became an on air meteorologist. And I landed in Bakersfield and thought it'd be a quick stop. And it ended up being, I'm still
Never
in
is a quick stop, y'all. Don't come to Bakersfield.
Everybody told me it's like quicksand here. You'll dig your feet in and you're not leaving. So I did that, and I enjoyed my career for many, many, many years as chief meteorologist. And
Yeah.
like you said, Diana, there aren't as many females, especially in the chief position. It's 7 to 8% are that's it. Our chiefs. So this is a male dominated career. It's high in math and science, obviously, and but I've always enjoyed those subjects, not necessarily as much math as science. So after I left my career a couple of years ago to be a
Mhm.
stay-at-home mom, because the hours are really tough, and I had given my life to my job, and I said it's time for me to start doing something for my family, maybe pursuing some other things too. And if you know television news, it is very grueling. We work weird hours. Well, a
Uh,
couple months out of that job, I got a call from KCAL News in Los Angeles asking me to audition for a freelance position, which I thought was perfect for me because it's freelance, it's fill in, and I would keep my toes in the door. And I love that position. So everything I feel like worked out as it should.
Yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
yeah, and I wanted something like that. If for those who don't know, television news is rated by market size, and that is the number two market in the country. So it's one of the biggest stations next to New York being number one. And so that was an opportunity that I was not going to pass up. And I
Yeah.
loved my position there as a freelancer. I worked a little bit more than what I'm working now. And I did that for a couple of years straight. And now, the health coaching has really taken over. So I'm doing more of that instead. I still have my friends at KCAL News. And, should something happen where I can go back and fill in, obviously I still do that.
Yeah.
But everything is going really well.
Yeah, it seems like the perfect position for you. You can just run down there and come back, and you can still be at home with Eris and have your family life. And that's the ultimate goal, right? Is to have that balance. And that's
Mhm.
what I mean is I feel like you have always figured out how to keep that balance. Maybe you don't feel like it,
I
but
am laughing. You know what? And it's partially too because my husband. I want to thank him. Thank you, Neil, because he's very understanding and supportive of my dreams. And sometimes, there isn't that support system at home. And I think that just because we're a mom or we're staying home mom doesn't mean that we, can only offer mom skills. We have other great qualities. And so if you can find where you can, do a little bit to this and a little bit there and here and there. That's how I've always been. I'm kind of a hustler by nature. So
yeah,
I do put my hands in lots of things. And then sometimes it's like, okay, I gotta back down a little bit.
yeah.
But I, and maybe not everybody relates to that. And that's fine too. You do you and you do what you can make your time for. But I always feel like giving back to other people. Um, I guess I thrive on the busyness.
Yeah, I feel like I
Some
do too
people
a little
don't
bit.
thrive on busyness, but I do, and I find ways to make things work.
Yeah. Yes, I feel I'm on the same wavelength as you on that because we do have way more to offer than just our mom skills. You're right. Like I never thought of it like that. We all as people have so many skills in life, and why not go and be do something outside of what you think you should be doing?
Right.
Go do something that you want to go do. You be a mom, but you can also go, whatever it is that you want to do. And I love that you're an example of that. And it's totally doable. You can do it. And it's such a fulfilling thing for yourself. And if you feel like you're fulfilled, you're going to be able to give a fulfilled life to your family and your kids.
Exactly. And when I see a lot of moms that are maybe sad or they're just feeling burnt out, and I'm thinking it's because you're pouring into everybody else but yourself. And it's
Yeah.
not selfish to go do something for you or have your own dreams and passions or have your own project that you pour into yourself. Because when you feel good about yourself, you're going to be a lot nicer to your family.
We're all, yes, our loved ones are the ones that we beat up on the most.
So I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that realization has really come out in the past years, probably the past, especially since COVID, when everybody, decided they needed a hobby. It was kind of like, yes, what am I doing? Why am I living like
Right.
this? Why? What we can do different things too. So
Yeah.
on my social media pages, I'm always encouraging people to fight their fears. Go for those next goals, dream big, things like that. And I get so many comments from people, and they say, "Thanks for being such an inspiration. Thanks for reminding me that I'm not stuck and this isn't forever. And you have the
Yeah.
power within you to change." And
Yes.
I see that every day as a health coach, as a transformation coach, really convincing people, my clients, that why did you do that? You don't have to do that. And then, oh, it's because of habits. We get in these habits and we do the same thing over and over again. So, my job is to help people form new habits and productive ones and really train them to live the life that they are meant to live. and see that outcome. And when it happens, and you see people lose 50 pounds, 80 pounds, and they are just like, wow, we never thought this was possible. And they had somebody help them and believe in them. That's what I thrive on that.
Yeah.
And so do
That's
they. And I'm happy to do that for them.
yeah, absolutely. That's amazing because they need, it's a very vulnerable state to be in and to reach out and be like, "Hey, I need help," or I need to do this for my body because like you said, I'm pre-diabetic or I'm pre this or I am high cholesterol, and it's a vulnerable state to be in and I commend you for being that person, that liaison or whatever, however how do you say that? Liaison?
A liaison, a
Liaison.
mentor,
I can't even say it. Yes.
a
But
liaison.
between that, between that fear and their goal, right? You're that middleman where you're like, check this out. I've got you. You can do this. You're
Mhm.
that cheerleader, that natural hustler. So yeah, that's amazing that you do that. That is a hard job to do. It's hard for sure, but
Yeah.
you're killing it. You're doing so great in the business. So I'm proud of you.
Thanks. Thanks. I'm super excited about it.
Yeah.
I've grown that from a side hustle to a business, and there are other coaches that are working with me now, and I'm figuring out the next step with that. To keep going and growing, and but I'm not taking on more than I can handle. Learn that lesson.
Yeah.
but yeah, it's fun.
Do you have any like goals that new things that you want to do, like maybe on the horizon or?
Somebody else asked me that today. They're like, "Okay, you just did the pageant. What's next?" I was like, "Okay, it's been a day."
Give it a little bit more
I
time.
will say I did not go pig out post pageant. I stayed to my program. I put way too much work into this.
Yeah.
So now I'm just going to continue to level up in my health. I'm doing a transformation challenge at the gym. That's about done. And then
Right.
I always try to find the next thing.
Yeah.
So that you asked that, Diana, because I look for ahead. Okay, what's the next thing I can try to work for and accomplish? And that's a great thing to do as a person. So if you are lacking motivation, look what you have coming up. What can you prep for? And
Right.
then, find something. So I'm kind of in that exploring stage right now, since I just got done with the first goal, but I do want to keep leveling up in my health.
Yeah. Absolutely. I love that. It's so true. There's always something to look forward to. Again, women, being moms and wives, we always get so wrapped up in that. And I feel like going outside of the box and what is next for you as an individual? What can you do? And I think that realization really doesn't happen until I would say maybe your late 30s when you kind of go through that mental transition of like, what am I doing with my life? And the care, like I don't really care anymore, what people think, and I'm going to just do it. And that I feel like when that happened to me, that was a huge deal for me. And then COVID happening, the whole world is different now. You can literally do anything from your phone. You don't have to go to college. There's so many things. I mean, we tell our kids to go to college. I tell my daughter has applied to college and has gotten into colleges, but she knows that if she decides that she wants to do something else outside of that, I'm going to be there to support her 100%. So it's just yeah, having that drive and not caring what people think, and that really comes I think in the mid 30s, upper 30s, I would say, without giving away my age.
I think probably for most people, I mean, because you're still trying to figure it out, definitely in your 20s,
Yeah.
unless you peaked early. I mean, I've kind of always been a late bloomer, so but that's okay. Everybody's journey is different, and that's what I would tell people as well. My journey is different than somebody who's getting married at 22. I mean, it just is, and so you're in control of whatever your story is, and maybe yours is different than mine, and it's going to have a different outcome, and that's okay.
Yeah, we're all on our own timelines. Don't compare someone's middle to your beginning,
Right.
or someone's ending to your beginning. You are on your own path, and You're never too old to do anything. And I'm talking to myself right now because I still have those insecurities where I wake up some days and I'm like, gosh, am I too old to be doing the things that I do? And I'm like, why am I questioning myself? That's just the fear coming in and the
Yes.
insecurities coming in. And why am I letting them affect me? It's just we have to talk to ourselves and we have to change the way that we talk to ourselves,
Oh,
and
absolutely.
yeah.
When I didn't win this pageant this past weekend, I didn't cry one tear. And I think in the past I would have. And I think the difference is now I'm secure with who I am. And that is, basically along the lines of what you're saying. Be so secure with who you are and
Mhm.
dive deep into that. And if you are in your 20s and you're listening to this, start now. So,
Yes.
because some people do mature faster than others and are on a different path. But when you do go ahead and do that deep dive and really know who you are and do the transformation process, it's incredible, and all of those reservations and fears go to the wayside, and you realize, no, the only thing you have to fear is fear itself, which we always say.
Yeah.
And so, do I have those days sometimes where I question myself? Yeah, I think that's normal, honestly. But I think there are fewer of those days now than in the past. And,
Yeah.
um, I think that the things I do now, I really am secure with what I do. And I've definitely grown as a person.
Yeah. And I think journaling helps a lot if we can write down our thoughts and kind of, for me, it was just, writing it down, getting it on paper and sorting it out. I'm a very visual person. And so for me to see things it helps me create better. It helps me see it first. Because when you have a dream or you have a passion, you see it first before you can create it. You have to actually see it in order to dream it and then, work towards it. So, doing, writing in a journal and writing down your thoughts is so helpful and a good way to organize them, if you will. It's kind of hard when there's a lot going on in your mind, so, yeah, and learning how to just navigate through that. I don't know. Writing for me, it helps me. Sorry, my cat wants to say hi. Sorry.
Aw.
But yeah, I mean, would you say what would you say has helped you kind of get over your fears? Like, is there any one thing that you've done, within yourself that you can think of, maybe? Like, maybe just besides journaling or praying or, believing in a higher power. I
Sure.
don't
Yeah.
yeah.
Prayer obviously works, but I think too, I'm envisioning the outcome, and I, I think being around like-minded people, there's a lot of negativity in this world, and so I try to surround myself with positive people and people who are on the same path as me, like wanting to do the same things. I have happy hours at my house, healthy happy hours. You came over for one of those. And yes, the vibe in the room is people who want to level up. So really look at your circle. They say you're a kind of a clone of the five people you spend the most.
Yeah.
So make sure that who you're spending time with are people you want to emulate and are pouring into you. If I find
Yeah.
people in my circle that aren't pouring into me and they're taking a little bit more than giving or this and that, you just kind of know deep down in your gut. And those maybe aren't people that are for me. I will still be cordial to everybody. I always am, but maybe they're just not in my close circle. So really take note of who you're hanging out with and listening to.
That is
I
so
do listen to a
true.
lot of podcasts as well, and I try to find the ones that are really more uplifting and things where I can get transformational nuggets, that sort of thing. And then again, back to coaching. When you're a coach, you're also really working on that. You're always working on yourself as a coach, not only to coach others better, but to coach yourself better and lead from the front. So that's what I've been working on as well.
Yeah, that's so true. You have to take note of who is in your circle and who you're spending your time with and be picky with who you spend time with. And it doesn't have to be a negative thing. It can just be a personal thing. I don't, I want to have, what kind of a conversation do I want to have tonight? Let me invite these people over. You can kind of, you want to be in places where you're helping each other and lifting each other and helping each other grow and not just staying the same. You want to help everybody get to where they want to be, and have fun conversations, inspiring conversations that uplift each other. And yeah, like I'm on the same page. Like that was
Yeah.
such a good little nugget right there. Yes, Alyssa. Yes.
Thank you. And I think you've done that in your life as well. You post your dance videos and you don't care. And if you like me for who I am, then that's what I would like about you. So you want to find those people who like you for who you are.
Yeah.
And that is part of, I think, kind of, it doesn't happen right away, not always. And you're always going through friendships sometimes, that maybe aren't quite that. And like I said, we bless those people. Doesn't mean that they're bad people. Maybe they're just not quite what you need at this moment.
Yeah, and people come and go in our lives for reasons, and that's okay. Like they serve a purpose, and that's okay. And we are also those people in other people's lives, and that's okay. And it's just the way of life. And you can always be cordial to everybody and respect everybody else's hustle. And I'm a natural cheerleader at heart, and so I'm always wanting people to do good. And I really truly want people to succeed in life and do the things that they love. And like that's my whole point of doing a podcast is I want people to be inspired and feel like they don't have to do what they're supposed to do, or
Mhm.
what society tells us. And, as women, society tells us we have to look a certain way, we have to feel a certain way. I want to make sure that everyone comes through this podcast and they know that it's okay to think outside the box and dream big. And if it's okay if you don't have the support, you can find that inside of you and surround yourself with people that love you as well for who you are. Because sometimes, yeah, I'm a little, yeah, like now that I got over the fear, I feel like I'm just out there, like, okay, here's all my insecurities all in these boxes, but I don't care.
I know, right? I know.
Yeah,
Some people, they the same thing when you just said there about the transformation pictures. How do you put up those pictures? I mean, friends, they are awful. I look
not at
there,
all.
but it's kind of like, I don't know. I guess I just got over that and caring. And
Yeah, because
yeah,
the work that you're doing and the effort that you're putting into yourself means so much more than the damn picture itself.
yeah,
Because you're like, I did this. This is my transformation, my before, my after, and I'm proud of my work, my journey, and I could care less about that first picture. Like, I'll let everyone see it because I did that. I did the work, and that's all that matters. That's how I feel. That's how I would feel.
yeah. I
You
had a
know.
coach tell me once, it was a pageant coach, and she said, when you own it, it takes the power away from other people. So when
Mm,
you own, okay, I looked like this, or maybe I don't always eat perfect, but I'm gonna own that. So that takes that away from you to pick on me about that.
yeah.
It gives you that power back. And it is kind of true. I'm like, yeah, I see that. So
Yeah.
you just remember that for anybody who's ever, you're really fearful about what you put out there. When you own those stories, then people can't use that against you. They can try, but you're like, okay, I own it. I said it. I don't care.
Yeah, or it's meant to be out there to inspire people, really.
Yeah.
And you posting those pictures and me posting my dance videos, it's really just to, hey, go out and do something, go do this, go, I don't care. I went and took a dance class. Check it out. Hopefully it made you smile. Hopefully it inspired you to go take a dance class or go do whatever, go play a sport or whatever, you did back in the day. Or, your pictures and your business is supposed to inspire people. And yeah, so just keep doing what you're doing. And the
Thanks.
naysayers, they, who cares? Who cares?
That's right. Who
It's
cares?
all yeah, and I think again, it takes a little while to figure that out in life, and some of us are a lot quicker than others. Maybe we're just late bloomers.
I know I'm a late bloomer, and that's okay. I'm fine with that. Uh, it is what it is. So
It is what it is. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I just I my cat just does not want me to have this episode today. He's just like, "Hey." um
oh,
he's such a little pain in the butt. So I found this cat at Lowe's. He was at Lowe's just walking around in the store and I'm like, "Okay, I guess I'm going to take you home."
oh
Yes.
wow.
Yeah, it's the whole thing. And then my other cat, like this my other cat, she is not fixed. And so they ended up having babies. And we just gave away the babies like 2 days ago, and it's just been a whole thing. Like, aside from having 3 children and a husband, like, I had, like, 7 animals in this house at one time.
Oh my god,
I don't know how I'm doing it. I don't know. I mean
that's a lot.
yeah, it's a lot.
So
Um, well, Alyssa, I am so glad that we had this conversation. I think this is gonna be great. You're such an inspiration. You had so many great things to say. And I really hope that it resonates with a lot of people. I know it did for me. I had a little couple of light bulb moments when you were talking.
good, good.
So, yeah, so I hope that it does that for other people as well. And just keep doing what you're doing. And again, if you're out there and you want to hit up Alyssa about the business and the coaching and hit her up on Instagram. I'll put her link in the bio. I'll put it on Spotify. I'll put it on YouTube. It'll be in the comments. You can follow Alyssa. You can follow me. You can follow Blonde Ambitions podcast. Um, yeah. Is there anything that you want to tell anybody?
I think I'm good. Thanks so
You
much for
good?
having me. And Diana, I'm so glad we connected a couple of years ago, and how fun that we can still be friends and have remained friends since
That
then.
was fun. We need to do lunch again. That was fun. Yeah. We need to go to where did we go? We went to Sonder, didn't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was fun. We should do that again soon. We'll go to Luigi's this time though.
Yes.
Yeah. Best freaking food ever. What's your order? What do you get at Luigi's again? Oh,
We
you
did
get the
that one
salad.
time, remember? We
Yeah,
did a
we
Louise.
did.
Yeah. I
Yeah.
think I had the spinach salad.
Yeah, see, I'm not good. I get the pasta bolognese, a large, okay, a large. Yes, I bring it home for my kids or me later. And then and then I get the sacco beans, a large again. Yes. I'm so bad.
I don't know how you eat. And she's small, everybody. She's like this big.
No. It's because I dance, that's why.
There you go. Burns
I
up.
don't always post the videos. They're not always that great. But anyway, yes, thank you, Alyssa, for coming. Thank you for everybody who listened. Let us know how you liked this episode in the comments below. And next week, I have a really great episode for you guys. Amy Linden will be here. She's an acting coach and she's been around the block a million times for so long, and she's amazing. So stick around for that. And Alyssa, I love you, and you're so great. So
Friend, and
love you.
thanks for having me. And I'll see you next time.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Okay.